The Arizona Cardinals are firmly back in the playoff picture, the path to the postseason. But I got to ask a question. Are we still grieving that victory from yesterday, Johnny?
No, we've never been more back. And guess what's also back? Cardinals winning at home thanks to Jonathan Gannon. That more starts now.
Thanks, JG.
We are back. We are back. We are back. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. Big shout out to our presenting partners at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment. Never ordinary with Bet365. We are back on a Victory Monday. It's been a hot minute. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined as always, co-host in Studio K, Mr. Robert Bo Brack, Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire, behind the mic today. We've had some time. Cardinals get a dub. They're back to 500. Do they have like a sneaky cute path to get to the playoffs to win the NFC West? Bo, we're going to talk about it.
It's adorbs, isn't it? It's adorbs with zero margin for error, but by God, it exists, and it also could set up ripping your heart out of your chest cavity, which is going to be fantastic. Yeah, we're all set up for that. We're ready to be heard again. I see everybody crushing it in the chat, per usual. I already see a super chat in there from Kyle. Can't wait to get to that. How about sick of my job? Julio, Big Bird 92, Shaft. Hope you had a good time at the game the other day. Joey also there. Turtle Trolls going to drop some super chats on you guys here shortly. We'll get to those. But mostly this conversation on a Victory Monday, 8-dub for Sunday. It was fantastic. Washed it down with a nice Seahawks loss last night, which always goes down smooth. And maybe their quarterback missing some time. We'll find out more information later. But Cardinals, as bad as things were, they were able to pick themselves up a bit.
Listen, we don't root for injuries on this show. We do not. We're above that. But if Geno Smith has to miss the rest of the season, so be it. We wish him well. And bon voyage and hello to Sam Howell and the horror show that was in the second half of last night. Seahawks lasted, all of 1 week in first place. They are super big-time frauds. I will not get away from that. The Rams are back in what they think is the rightful spot, at least for now. The NFC West, it's tight as ever. Goodbye to San Francisco. You're irrelevant. We want to talk about the three major players for the rest of the season. Cardinals took care of business at home. They secured a winning record for the first time since, good God, 2017. We're going to talk about that. JG and company getting it done at home. But we're here. We've made it. The Cardinals have increased their playoff odds. They beat Carolina this weekend, and the Seattle Seahawks lose to the Minnesota Vikings. I think we can say game on. Game off, game is officially back on. Cardinals take care of business at Carolina. They're a 4.5 point favorite with our friends at Bet365. The division is officially up for grabs because, let's check it out. The playoff standing tracker for the final three in the NFC West, separated by a mere game. Let's see it. Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire, put this banger of a graphic together. Ooh. Here's what you need to know. Number one, the Arizona Cardinals must emphatically win out. Okay, they've got to win each of their next three games. They're going to be favored against San Francisco in Week 18. They're favored this weekend. The horror show in San Francisco on primetime. Kyler Murray knows it well. We're not going to talk about that. Everybody knows what has to be done here. You have to win out. However, after you do that, what needs to happen, Bo, with the first and second team here in the standing? Seattle can actually go 2-1, and the Arizona Cardinals win the NFC West. All they have to do, however, is lose in Week 18. They can't go 2-1 and lose to the Vikings and win out. They have to lose to the Rams. The Rams are basically obsolete. If the Cardinals went out and they beat the Rams, it doesn't matter what the Rams do. but the Rams also have to beat the Seahawks. So I guess they're not obsolete. Is everybody following me right now? Cardinals have to win out.
But yeah,
okay.
Do it one more time.
Cardinals have to win out. The Seahawks have to go at worst 2-1 with that loss coming against the LA Rams, but they could obviously go 0-3 and 1-2, and that would get the job done as well.
Yeah. I think I'm mostly rooting for the 1-2 Seahawks scenario. And like, who's playing quarterback is going to be a big kind of difference maker there. Minnesota's playing tonight. They've got the Bears, and they've got a very real path to winning the NFC North. They have a lot to play for, and that's great for the Arizona Cardinals. So next week, although they'll be on the road up in Seattle, I think that they should be. I would bet a slight favorite over the Seahawks if Geno Smith is able to play. But it is coming down to it. I said it yesterday. The collision course can be set with the Cardinals taking care of business against a bad 3-win Carolina Panther team on the road in week 16. And I'm sure the Rams will take care of business against a terrible Jets team.
Jets looked pretty good yesterday.
They did not. They got going late. They were trailing Jacksonville for most of that game.
I might be back on the Mets. The Jets may have found something yesterday. The Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams had 200 yards. I might be back.
I saw I think it was their first big connection for a big touchdown. I think it was what put them ahead, and they never kind of looked back in that game after trailing Jacksonville for far too long. And trailing Jacksonville for any extent of any time of any game is too long. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers was celebrating, and he was giving a couple yippies and trying to hop up and down. The man is so hobbled and needs to be is so brittle. I thought he was going to hurt himself doing that. It looked like a 40-plus-year-old would look trying to celebrate a big touchdown pass. So, yeah, my confidence level as far as the Jets getting the job done against the Rams, not very high.
I already know what my hold or fold the line pick is going to be for this week.
No.
Yes.
You don't even want to bring up that after you got smacked again this week.
The Jets are feisty. I like what I'm seeing out of Aaron Rodgers. They're playing at home. Didn't the Jets beat the Rams a couple years ago in like a big late season game to like knock the Rams out?
They're feisty like a senior citizen with a Blue Chew prescription in the senior living home. That's how they're feisty.
I honestly don't like that game doesn't mean a whole lot because we actually probably
it would be a nice little hey, thank you. You know,
I think we need though the Rams to win because we need the Rams to be viable in the finale. Assuming that the Cardinals beat the Rams in 2 weeks, we don't need the Rams to be like, oh, our season's over. We're laying an egg against Seattle in the finale. I think the best case scenario is Cardinals win out. We don't see Geno Smith purrs up for the rest of this year. And Kyler Murray exercises demons against everybody. And I mean, the fact that we're even having this conversation, it's enlightening, but it's also gut-wrenching to know like how many close games that they've had and then lost post-bye, but they've also won close games against Miami, the Chargers. San Francisco probably feels this way after the Cardinals stole that game. I just like NFC West or not, I don't think you can put a price tag on winning 4 games in the NFC West, sweeping Shanahan and McVay. Put the Seahawks aside for a second, and getting to double-digit wins, I think, would mean a hell of a lot. Bruce Arians did it in his first year. He got to 10 wins, went 10-6, missed the postseason. So I am cautiously optimistic. I think the Cardinals are going to win this weekend. Can we agree on that? Like, do you feel good about their odds this weekend?
Yeah. I think that Carolina has regressed. They look just as bad as they've ever looked all season long yesterday. Bryce Young, the one step forward, he took 2 steps back yesterday. And how the Cardinals are playing on defense gives me a lot of confidence that it's not going to be an opportunity for Bryce Young to get correct. What I've seen from Nick Rollis and Jonathan Gannon over the past 2 seasons against inexperienced quarterbacks, like it's good enough to win football games. Yeah. And no matter really how you're playing offensively, but you'd like to think offensively it can be the true get-right game that everybody's been craving for so long. But yeah, I think barring any unforeseen catastrophic event, the Arizona Cardinals are poised to win this game.
Did I see earlier today too? The Cardinals sent out notification like to season ticket holders, like playoff tickets are going to be available beginning tomorrow. Did I see that?
Playoffs. I believe so. I did see that come across my Twitter timeline as well.
No, I mean, they're doing their due diligence, and the percentages mean nothing because they swing so dramatically week to week. Like, I feel pretty confident if the Cardinals win this week and the Seahawks lose, Cardinals are going to jump ahead of the Seahawks again in terms of not necessarily standings, but playoff odds. Because then, week 17, which I have heard, very significant chance that game is flex. Now, the NFL has screwed the Cardinals before many, many times, and Zach Stevens, our guy at DMVR, Sean Payton's already coming up and saying like, oh, the league told us that Broncos-Bengals is going to be flexed the weekend of Christmas. It's like, okay, Sean. Like, first of all, they have until next Monday to decide that. I like the Bengals. The Bengals aren't going to the playoffs. I will be disgusted beyond belief if they put Bengals-Broncos on national TV when the Bengals have nothing to play for, and the Cardinals and Rams could be playing for the NFC West. And they're just like, Nope, you're relegated. But I think there's enough.
Here's Bo Nix again. And hey, can't Joe Burrow throw a pretty spiral to Jamar Chase?
I think there's enough prime time to go around that weekend. The Sunday night game is a horror show. It's Browns and Dolphins. Get that out of there. That's going to be flexed. And then it really is going to come down to Falcons at Washington. After the Falcons beat the Raiders tonight, are they going to be interested in that matchup? I'm not interested
Captain
in that.
Kirk return game.
Can the Cardinals get one legit primetime game, please? Please? They've earned it. We've earned a like today, I think, on this fine broadcast. We're going 500 likes here on a football Monday. I mean, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Because you were more positive than I think the rest of us post game yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't love the optics offensively, but you feel like a win is a win is a win.
Yeah. First, I mean, speaking of dropping a like, how about this? All super chat proceeds, just like yesterday, and the next couple days are going to go towards Operation Santa Claus. Thanks to our friends over at Sanderson Ford. Check that out. So we've already got 4 super chats in the hopper, and all those, every single dime of it goes to Operation Santa Claus. So if you love the super chat, love to get your comment read here on air, assure that it's going to a great cause. Operation Santa Claus over at Sanderson Ford. Yeah. Yesterday's victory, I felt like the only thing that it lacked was the connection of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray getting right, which continues to be, I think, the biggest, letdown of the entire season for the Arizona Cardinals. Like, I won't deny that. I can't discount that. I felt like they took their shots. Marvin Harrison Jr. got two targets in the end zone. One I thought was a beautiful ball from Kyler Murray, and they did a good job as far as Marvin Harrison Jr. in getting a bit of separation, but not enough against Christian Gonzalez, who broke up the play, right? And then for the 4th consecutive game, Kyler Murray made a big-time blunder and needed some theatrics and a hit to the head to bail him out. And, although it was negated by a penalty, which is great, I believe the Arizona Cardinals, other than that, did get right offensively. 3 touchdowns, for the offense that matched the total that they had the previous 3 weeks, a 30-burger against the New England Patriots, who had they'd given up only 30 points 4 times before that this season. And the defense continued to play well, and they put an end to this. It was never really a threat, the Patriots winning that game. Cardinals, they won a game on the heels of a 3-game losing skid. So, I'll take that. CPL saying, Bo, I'm the Drew Petzing apologist. What have I said to apologize for Drew Petzing to this point? But can you deny that the Cardinals put up nearly 400 yards of total offense yesterday, had, countless trips to the red zone, put up 30 points? I'm the apologist, but when are you going to give credit when it's due? So, I mean, you can go there and Damon and I joke, and I'll carry water. I'll take bullets for this organization.
Bo was yelling at me this morning, Johnny. I was telling him, wasn't the most inspiring victory. Bo's yelling at me in the studio.
That's a bit much.
Yelling. Sorry.
I thought
Damon,
it was a bit much.
To protect you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you guys weren't there to spin a win into a loss this morning. I just feel like that was the vibe I got. I got big time, Christmas morning. I asked for this on my Christmas list, and I got 95% of it, but it wasn't like 100%, and I'm upset about it, and it's gonna ruin my whole day. I'm not there with most of the people that feel that way.
I'm gonna go really inside baseball, and it's gonna make Bo sick. This is like Bo and Damon specifically. This is like when influencers get invited to like movie premieres and they get swept up in all the hoopla and the pageantry, and they're like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God, The Last Jedi was tremendous, and The Rise of Skywalker." And then everybody comes back and everybody has critiques, but then they don't invite movie critics, they invite influencers. No, Bo's not an influencer. He's a real journalist. I agree with you.
You're influencing me to leave the show right now. That's how I feel.
I agree with you. Sitting on it for 24 hours, it was a good win, but I still of the mindset that I'm sitting here. How about Baharo's tweet right here? Stop saying it's just Kyler and MHJ. Michael Wilson had 2 catches as well. Dortch had a great screen. The passing game to wide receivers is bad right now. I agree with that wholeheartedly. That's like my entire argument.
A screen. That play, if you look at it, according to NFL Next Gen stats, we're talking about the 39-yard catch on 3rd down, the explosive from Greg Dortch. The expected yardage on that play was 14 yards. Screen. It's a screen. It looked like a screen to me. It was a first down the entire way. So they moved the chains regardless. Greg Dortch, good job getting the ball in his hands, and he takes it, turns it into explosive. Oh, Cardinals offense, 5 plays over 20 yards yesterday. They didn't get an MHJ. It's a failure. Fire Drew Petzing. It's not exactly what I wanted.
I don't think I can top that. That noise that you just made. How many of those? I'm asking you for real.
Yeah.
Because I know the Dortch pass wasn't. How many of those plays that were 25 yards or more started before they reached the 10-yard marker? That basically, we know James Conner was a run play. Greg Dortch was a screen pass. I think most of the plays and the frustration from this fan base is you can get yak against the New England Patriots because they're VBAT. They're not a good team, right? And you can run that kind of offense against the Patriots, and no one, or the Bears or the Jets, no one is discrediting that. When you have to play real defenses, like you're going to see the last 2 weeks of the season, specifically in week 17, and you take number 18 and number 14 as outside receivers and need to run a functional offense where you're looking at 10, 15, 20 yards in the air with the football.
Yeah.
Can the Cardinals operate that way? And I think that beyond just MHJ and Kyler, that's the biggest disappointment of the season, is that the Cardinals, outside of what I believe to be a very gimmicky offense in the passing game, dink and dunk, they don't have the structure to be able to facilitate big chunks in the passing game. We saw that at the end of the Seattle game twice and against the Vikings the last possession. That is the biggest knock on this team. And if they don't make the playoffs, that's why. And again, I put a tweet out there yesterday, but I don't know who to blame. Petzing, Kyler, Marv, all the above. But here's what I do know. The Cardinals under Drew Petzing have never emphasized wide receiver play. And you could say, well, it's been good enough to get them to 500 this year, and you're absolutely right. But there's a ceiling to that. And the team that wins the NFC West, it's going to be a team that features, sustained high-end passing, whether it's Geno and his wideouts or Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, and Puka Nacua. So just I wish they would evolve more, and they haven't. They went back to the well yesterday, and I thought yesterday was a perfect chance to take some shots. And for whatever reason, they looked as disconnected as ever.
Disagree with that ever. We've seen some disconnected football, and that's where I'll agree with you. I think they took their shots, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. You ask, and I'm going to get way back to the question: where were the explosives downfield? Where were the 20+ yards that plays downfield? The James Conner run, obviously, that's on the ground. The passing game, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. involved early, 23 yards down the field. Nice little play. Credit to the Patriots. As soon as they tried to draw that play up again, Christians and Gonzalez played it perfectly, and it turned into an incompletion. Trey McBride had a 29-yard catch for the Arizona Cardinals in that game, and then I'm not going to discount. I'm not going to say that the Dortch play is a screen, because it wasn't.
It's a good play. It was a good play. It was very, and the goal line play, the run to him was a very good play.
But here's what I won't argue either is the disconnect continues between Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. I completely agree with that. Like, I thought that early in the game, they were going to try to emphasize that connection. And after it was, what was the going into halftime? Was it 10-3 or 13-3?
13.
Regardless, it wasn't a large margin. They had to settle for some field goals. And they're like, okay, we tried to get this connection going again this week. Didn't happen. It's time that let's win this football game.
Let's get conservative and just put this one on ice.
Let's just put this game away. And what do? They ended up putting the game away, finding the end zone twice in the second half, and it's a laugher. But before you know it,
the offense does not run through Kyler Murray or Marvin Harrison Jr. It runs through James Conner and Trey McBride.
I mean, look, Trey McBride's having an unbelievable season. He's a couple yards away from 1,000-yard receiving season at the tight end position. Hasn't found the end zone. I know people want to like raise their hand, but and say, what about this? Trey McBride has been awesome for the Arizona Cardinals between the 20s and can't get to the end zone. And I hope they remedy it at some point this year. James Conner is going to go over 1,000 yards rushing. But this connection that everybody wants to see, and it is an indictment on the play calling to an extent. It's an indictment, I think, on the battery between Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. as well, that it hasn't got that we're 15 weeks in the season and it hasn't gotten there yet. But at the same time, they've found a way to function at some level with the playmakers that are making an impact.
I just feel like if it was Marv exclusive, I think we'd all be able to admit that because the rest of the passing game would be rolling. But Bo, like Marv has 7 touchdowns. That's half of Kyler Murray's passing touchdowns. Like we're sitting here, Kyler Murray has 15 touchdown passes this year. That's just not enough. That's not enough this year. I mean, he's on pace. He's not going to eclipse 20. So I'm just taking the ingredients that are made available to me. Marv isn't producing yardage. It looks broken. Kyler's not throwing touchdowns, right? Michael Wilson was an afterthought yesterday. It's an offense that wants to run through tight ends and running backs. And again, like that's fine against these bottom feeders. But we saw against the teams that are going to the postseason, the NFC, and the teams that are beating the Cardinals, they challenged the Cardinals to beat them in a different way. And they couldn't do it. And I am frustrated because I would think yesterday against a JV team that should be relegated to the MAC conference in the New England Patriots, perfect opportunity for you to figure it out. What did you say all last week during our preview shows en route to that Patriots game? What happened the last time the Patriots faced off against an opposing offense? Was it the Jets or who was it? Who had just put up monster yards against the Patriots through the air? Cardinals couldn't do that with their receivers yesterday. I think if you're sitting here and we're talking up Christian Gonzalez like he's Patrick Surtain, it's like, well, couldn't do it. It's like everybody else is putting up big yardage against the Patriots through the air. Cardinals couldn't do it. And it's just an indictment of their philosophy offensively. It's not good. It's not good through the air. And again, there is a shelf life, a ceiling to this run game tight end offense. And we've seen it already. It's already bit him in the ass already this year.
I don't think the fact that James Conner and Trey McBride are having good seasons is the indictment. It's the connection that hasn't come together between Kyler and his 4th overall pick and consistently with his perimeter wideouts.
Yeah. And it continues to be a problem. We're going to talk about that more. Plus hear from Jonathan Gannon right around the corner on PHNX Cardinals. Cardinals open up as a 4.5-point favorite with our friends at Bet365. Can you get the Cardinals at plus money to win the NFC West? Damon, Dawg, and I were talking about a couple lofty bets, long-term division outlooks. Damon, you were mentioning Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago. What are they, like plus 300 to win the NFC South? That's looking pretty good. The rest of the landscape.
Plus 400.
The plus 400. Good Lord. Why didn't you give me
minus 490 right now?
You bet them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got it.
I hope you got it with our friends at Bet365. Never ordinary. The bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. 90 million users worldwide, by the way. Perfect time to dive into the betting scene. Of course, we've got NFL football for at least a couple more months here, including playoff football. And speaking of the playoffs, how about the college football playoff featuring our sweet baby Arizona State Sun Devils in the Peach Bowl. Coming up here in just a couple weeks, plus NBA action, NHL, and much more. Download the app today. Bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Our guy Bo Brack, 3 for 3 on his pregame bets yesterday. As for our boosted bet, it was a boosted bust. 0 for 3. I blame the passing game. $5 or more gets you $150 in bonus bets. Find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary. With Bet365, you got to be 21 years and older, physically located in AZ. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Bo, for more info.
If you count my hold or fold the line bet, went 4 for 4. And also sniffing out your fraud bets, probably 5 for 5, 6 for 6. I don't know. We'll have to do the math on that. But you don't have to do much math when you're over at Sanderson Ford. They're just trying to find the best deal for you to get you in a brand new or used vehicle. PHNX is proud to have Sanderson Ford as their official vehicle partner. It's like days like today where we're so thankful for how much they do within our community here in the Valley. Like Operation Santa Claus. Right now, it's the 24th annual Operation Santa Claus. All your super chats, all of them go to Operation Santa Claus. It's the last day to donate this Tuesday, December 17th. Our last chance to win your choice of a new Ford F-150 Super Crew or Lincoln, Corsair luxury SUV. And for more info how to donate, go to givetotheclaus.com. That's Claus, of course, like Santa Claus. Also, PHNX Super Chats, as I mentioned, benefiting Operation Santa Claus, courtesy of our friends over at Sanderson Ford. Love them. Love how they give back to our community. Check out all the great new and used vehicles they have on their 65-acre lot out there in the West Valley. Sanderson Ford, family-owned and operated for over 3 generations. Check out the new Ford F-150, 3.9 APR financing for 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back. Similar savings on over the 900 new and used pre-owned vehicles on the lot. Sanderson Ford, thank you for giving back to our great community. Fantastic work there. Already have a bunch of super chats in the hopper. Can't wait to read those and for your money to go to a great cause.
Everybody be sure to like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports. We appreciate all the super chats today. Going to Operation Santa Claus, giving back to the less fortunate at a very tough time of year for a lot of people. Cardinals getting their act together yesterday. Bo, you had a chance to chat with the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, today as it relates to the dub. And how is the head ball coach? Because, again, you look at this team, I feel like Jonathan Gannon is very cordial in how he's taking this late season approach. He's never too high, he's never too low, and he knows that the job is unfinished, yet yesterday they should be able to feel good about a win regardless of the opponent.
Yeah, I think he wants to kind of keep that stoic approach to anything, just trust his process. And he, I think, understood, outside of a couple tweaks here and there and maybe kind of dialing up a couple things here and there in practice, that they stuck to what was working during their 4-game win streak. And then it didn't look too dissimilar than their 3-game losing skid. And they just knew that they were better than they were playing. And, we have a big debate as far as the offense goes. When we talked to Kyler Murray post-game yesterday, Johnny, he was pretty underwhelmed by it. I mean, He said it wasn't unbelievable. It was efficient, but, they got the job done. I had asked Gannon today what he felt about, Kyler's comments and maybe what the tape told him as far as the offensive output.
Being pretty critical, he put up 30 in an NFL game. That should be good enough to win, I thought we were efficient on 3rd down. We ran the ball well. In the red zone, we're pretty good. What he feels is I thought he operated extremely well. There was really, a ton of need for splash plays, which is probably what he's feeling, because he's normally a part of those splash plays. We played well enough to win,
There's more there. He wanted to reveal more there. He probably knew that behind this answer was a Johnny Venerable waiting to hear where, he felt like they could have performed better offensively. And he mentioned the splash plays. What are splash plays, throwing the football? It's down the field. And, I don't think that they're oblivious to it. It's something that they're going to try to hopefully work, especially against the Carolina team coming up. That Cooper Rush threw 3 touchdown passes against this past weekend.
Kyler Murray has 4 touchdown passes in the last 6 games. Let me repeat that. The Cardinals, in the last 6 games played, have 4 touchdown passes. They have Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, James Conner out of the backfield, and they have thrown 4 touchdowns in a month and a half. I'm just putting that out there. This is not like an anomaly of like, this isn't who we are. Yes, it is. This is been who they are all year, and this has been who Drew Petzing is as an offensive coordinator dating back to last year. Go back to last season. I was chatting with somebody before the show about this. This is what Drew wants to do. They want to play ultra conservative. Everything's in front of you. Throw the ball before the sticks. Let your playmakers make plays. Punt the football, play defense. And that's great theoretically. But that's not the NFL. And specifically, you're not good enough, as grossly overachieving as the defense is, you're not good enough defensively to do that. You're not going to be good enough defensively to do that against the Rams and the 49ers in the finale. So I thought we were turning a corner when we were in Miami. I thought we were turning a corner before the bye. Like, they figured it out. Marv's figured it out. Kyler, he needed a full season sample size dating back to last year with Drew Petzing to be able to take as many swings at the plate as possible to get this passing game going. And it's like, no one wants to see the passing game regress like this, because what this should do, this record at 7-7, and the hope and the aspiration and the promise that we've seen from so many young players and Rollis and JG, that should be able to carry us into the next 6+ months. But what's the narrative going to be? Kyler Murray is not productive enough. This offense is not productive enough. The investments you've made offensively are not paying dividends. That's going to dominate the talking space. They can go trade for every pass rusher in the league. They can draft another first-round defensive tackle. This defense can be top 5. Does not matter if you're not getting the quality output offensively from this passing game.
I disagree with that. I think that the offense is a product of them, feeling like they need to control the time of possession. I think if they felt like they were up to snuff personnel-wise, defensively, that they could risk things, take a little bit more, few more shots on first, second, third down, that if they did suffer a 3 and out, that the defense could just get right back out there and get the ball in the offense's hands. I think that this is the brand of football that they feel is the best path to consistency in staying in games and having a shot to win football games. I mean, I think you have to really be encouraged by the play from the defense, but you start putting them right back out there on the field after a quick offensive series, and I think it changes, the impact that they can make.
I mean, what do you think the disconnect is? Because right now, I mean, we saw the deep pass to Michael Wilson 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's clear to you, right, that Kyler Murray is being coached to keep everything in front of him. It's an offense that wants to keep the ball 5 yards, 10 yards, and not to force things downfield. Yeah. I just feel like if you're Bo Nix and you're the Broncos, you can do that and get away with that. And people are okay with it because given where he's at. When you've got Kyler Murray, who's 27 years old, who I saw it in the chat, his strength theoretically should be his arm strength, his mobility. You've got playmakers. Like there's no reason why this passing game should look like this late in the year.
No, I agree. I mean, and I think the same people are saying things about, this Houston offense and the Texans, and they've got all these playmakers and they've got a good quarterback that people believe in. And you're seeing them struggle to put up points, and you're not seeing the explosives that you saw on full display last year. And you're going to have the same thing, an uneven performance week in and week out, like you're getting from the Arizona Cardinals. There is a reluctance, I think, from I think a sense of survival and staying in the game, that if you go take a shot on first down, that you're going to be behind on second down, and then you're going to be further behind on third down. And at some point, I think that in order for just a long-term benefit of the offense, that you do need to take a couple shots. Like when you saw, and I hate to use this as an example because, we know Cliff and we know his pros and all the cons, right? But I was watching, 10 targets to Terry McLaurin yesterday, and he caught 7 of his 10 targets, and 3 of them that he didn't catch were big, deep shots to Terry. And you look at the down in the distance, and it's like 1st and 10, and they're taking a shot to Terry. It's second and manageable, and they're taking a shot to Terry.
Just pressure.
Yeah. I think that they would benefit from it. I don't know. I think that's probably a question we can ask Drew Petzing tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be more likely to answer it on the heels of a win instead of a loss, and just kind of get where his mindset is as far as taking shots downfield.
Yeah, it is disheartening. When Cliff was here, targets were never an issue. It was about how he used those targets and moving around DeAndre Hopkins or lack thereof. And the league caught up to Cliff as a play caller, as a head coach, and maybe they caught up to Kyler Murray too. But I never thought we'd see the day where Kyler Murray is the healthiest, knock on wood, he's been in his 6 years in the NFL and least productive as a passer. I mean, it's tough to watch. I mean, I got DMs and notifications. I know people tag you too, Bo, that like, I know you were at the game. The common denominator of feedback I got, I was at the game and it looks way worse in person. Like the passing game looks way worse. I'm being serious. Like you feel like, and we saw Teo's statistics from AZ Central. Yeah. The Cardinals are the worst team in the NFL on 3rd and 10. They're the worst team. And so what's the common denominator? Well, it's the fact that most teams know you got to throw on 3rd down when it's 3rd and 10, and the Cardinals can't do that. So much so that they like to run draw plays on 3rd down.
Dale did a great job. I really enjoyed that article, azcentral.com. It went into, Kyler Murray facing pressure and 3rd downs and all that. How good were they on 3rd down yesterday?
Well, they were 1 for 6, but then they're like, let's get back.
Look at cherry picking.
Let's get back to 3rd.
Look at the overall picture. What were they? Would they finish?
10 for 16, 10 for 15.
10 for 15. Kyler Murray was 7 for 10 on 3rd down, 127 yards passing on 3rd down. All 7 of his completions were for 1st downs. So step in the right direction. I
know he's a good quarterback. Like here's
I guess here's where we are post this game, right? The aftermath. Progress, right?
Yeah.
Progress. In almost every area across the board outside of the Marv Kyler connection. Outside, I mean, I didn't see anything that outside of the first play to Marv that was like, oh, okay, this thing's trending in the right direction.
I thought we were going to cook after that 23-yard reception. I was like, this is a Marv day. And it wasn't.
And then Gonzo figured it out. And that's on the play caller. Like, okay, well, they took this out of our playbook, so let's go to this. And it's like, well, if your alternative is, back shoulder fades or whatever, it's just those aren't high percentage plays for your guy.
Hey, I want to call something out because we're going to get into trending up, trending down around the corner. But, everybody dogs Marv for not having a dog in him.
Yeah.
He was one of the highest graded run blockers yesterday. And that may be.
You love that.
I'm grasping straws here, but after what people were critical of.
Yeah, he's a big tip guy. Tim Ryman, by the way, since meeting Damon Dawg at the mall.
Catch machine.
He is. 3 catches. He had 1 catch previous to talking to Damon.
Yesterday, can we just agree? Damon and I were appalled by it. That catch on, I think it was 2nd down, and he took a bad angle and immediately fell down. One of his catches yesterday. Damon, you know which one I'm talking about.
Johnny expects George Kittle after the catch, or else
can I have one broken tackle?
I
know what I'm getting. I go to a Chinese buffet. I know what I'm getting. I'm just gonna eat myself into oblivion. But I like Tip Ryman. I know what I'm getting. I'm gonna get a pass and I'm gonna go down. Right. But yes, he's an exceptional run blocker. I'm gonna tell you what.
For James Conner yesterday, a couple of them.
Marvin Harrison Jr. 76 run blocker yesterday. 76 run blocker. I mean, I saw him blocking downfield for James Conner. Maybe he's trying to ingratiate himself with Drew Petzing. Like, look, I'm doing the dirty work. Can I get some passes in the second half? I don't know. I didn't see a guy who quit yesterday, but I also saw a play caller that was like, my mind's made up. If you're going to be in the game, you need to be blocking. Because if you saw, at times, Marv comes off the field and Zay Jones comes in, and they run the football. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Marv wants to leave the field. I certainly don't think he wants to leave the field. So, I don't know. I'm looking for small wins here, and I'm looking for development. I am. I'm trying to.
Glass half full guy. That's who Johnny Venerable is. Always trying to look at life presents you lemons, you make lemonade. That's the kind of guy you are.
I want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be great, and I want him put in the best positions to succeed. And I don't know if that's happening right now. I tell you what is happening. We're going to do trending up, trending down right around the corner. So much good stuff happening right now in the Valley of the Sun, including how about the Fiesta Bowl right around the corner? No ASU there in the Peach Bowl, but I'm fired up regardless. Viva the fans, Viva New Year's Eve, and Viva a new era of college football. The VRBO Fiesta Bowl will host their first playoff quarterfinal history. That means the road to the College Football National Championship goes through us December 31st at 5:30 p.m. Boise State, Ashton Gentry, run up for the Heisman, is going to take on the winner of SMU Penn State and come early for the New Year's Eve Fiesta that starts at 2:30 with the Fan Fest pregame party. It's a block party leading into the biggest game, best performances, bands, cheerleaders, games, fun, beverages, and more. Don't miss the epic pregame Fan Fest block party featuring live entertainment, fun, food, beverages, and more. Then witness college football history, all while securing priority for future college football playoff games. How about it? Join us for the first ever college football playoff quarterfinal at VRBO Fiesta Bowl. Buy your tickets now. Reserve parking and premium experiences at fiestabowl.org/tickets. And Viva Fiesta. As somebody who's been to the Fiesta Bowl at State Farm Stadium, it is immaculate. It is phenomenal. Get your tickets now. And then, use our friends at Game Time. Pop over and see the Peach Bowl.
Penn State SMU, man. It's Jesse Lucchetta U versus Kelvin Beachum U. What a throwdown. To go up against Boise State. Verizon. We love our friends at Verizon. Is Verizon your cell phone carrier? It's not? Well, that sucks. Sucks for you. Got to go to Verizon because they've got the best of course service that you can buy. I've been a Verizon customer for over 10 years, maybe even longer than that. I might have been a Verizon customer longer than Damon Dawg's been on God's green earth. Verizon Access. It gets you experiences you love. Teaming up with Verizon to hook you up with free Suns tickets. Verizon's going to give you tickets to go see the Suns. Go to gophnx.com/Verizon for your chance to win 4 lower level seats to a Suns game January 12th, along with prepaid parking. You really don't have to do anything. You just get your tickets, drive down, you get a parking spot, you show up, you get to watch KD and crew hopefully win a basketball game. Ready for those free Sun tickets? Register now. GoPHNX.com/Verizon. GoPHNX.com/Verizon. Thank you for Verizon for hooking up our PHNX family. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends Friday, January 3rd. But get in there before the first of the year. Just do it now. Do it right now. GoPHNX.com/Verizon.
Everybody do us a favor. Like this video. The goal 500 likes here on a Football Monday, Victory Monday. We're fired up. And people are like, Johnny, quit being so negative. Okay, let's have some fun. It's trending up, trending down this week. Let's start with the positives. Ball Brock trending up. Darius Robinson, he was our X Factor player of the game yesterday, had a sack, disruptive holding penalty. I think he also had a TFL. Cardinals' best defensive lineman yesterday. PFF grade was high. Somebody who's gaining confidence. I had predicted he was going to have a good game. Well, look at him. And I think he's going to continue to eat, especially this weekend against Carolina.
Yeah, you wouldn't dare give it to Baron Browning. He had 2 TFLs, including a sack.
Missed that.
You wouldn't do that. Yeah, you missed that. But no, Darius Robinson played another 30-snap performance for him, right around 59, 60% of the snap load on the defensive side of the football. I think that's the sweet spot for Darius. I think that's where you're going to see him cap out as far as how much you'll see the playing time, do the rotation they like to keep with their defensive front seven. But love what I saw from 56. I was with you. I thought that this was conducive to D-Rob having a good game, and he absolutely delivered.
Greg Dortch delivering when he gets opportunities. We could be watching the last 3 games of Greg Dortch's career as an Arizona Cardinal. He's a free agent this spring and made his most of his targets yesterday. The yak ability, the screen passes, as a return man, he's been solid this year, but it was good to see him back involved in the offense. People forget he was their number 1 receiver with Trey McBride at the end of last year, pre-Marv, and it just helped open up stuff underneath. And what it did was it kind of underscored their need for a replacement this offseason if Greg is not brought back. If they opt to let Greg test the market, and we hope Greg gets every dollar and cents he's able to secure, that part of the offense is missing. If they're going to be so stingent with Marv and Michael on the outside, they're not going to move them around. They need a reliable slot receiver, and it was good to see Greg be ingratiated yesterday.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. It was a very quiet season, which was not expected. Just kind of following Greg Dortch's career. Anytime he's been given an opportunity, he's produced. So he's kind of curious to see him play as much as he has and then not, make an impact. So, for him to have the game that he did, and it seemed like every time he touched the ball, it was a big play coming from him. 2 big catches on third down, not just a 39-yarder, but an 8-yard catch on third down that moved the chains for the Cardinals late in the game. It was so important. Nearly had the touchdown. It almost was a crucial, fumble for him. Thank goodness for Jonah Williams in his flu game, falling on that ball and making a big play.
Speaking of the offensive line, Isaiah Adams, this was his second consecutive start, so he's played 70-plus snaps each of the last 2 weeks. After a tough start against Seattle last week, rebounded in a big way, 66.7 PFF grade, was solid all the way around. And if you look at some of the James Conner runs, I posted his touchdown today. He blocked 2 people. We always knew he was an exceptional run blocker. He's almost 25, so he's an older rookie. And now I love that Gannon's like, rip the Band-Aid off. Get him in the lineup. Let's get him ready to go for 2025. Cardinals now have 4 of their 5 starters set for next year. All that's left up for grabs is left guard. But Isaiah Adams was always one of these raw prospects coming out of Illinois that just needed time. Will Hernandez goes down. They need a little bit more time. Tristan Colon did an admirable job. And then, the big man goes in there. And I thought, it's not a surprise the Cardinals can run the football with him in there. It's can they pass protect against the good defensive line where Kyler Murray needs that clean pocket and not 6'6" pressure in his face like he's going to see against, the Rams and the 49ers, like teams with quality defensive front seven. So what they're doing with Isaiah Adams, like I wish we could see more with Marv, where it's like the arrow is trending up, but it's clear, like Tip Ryman solidified, Isaiah Adams solidified, right? It's easy to, when Petzing finds, if you fit what he likes, you're going to get better. Whereas we're kind of putting a square peg in a round hole with the skill players.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slower burn, and hopefully, though, continuing to burn. Like Isaiah Adams, it was big for him to put together a solid performance for him. And it's cool to think about, you've got a first-round pick at left tackle, and I don't know, do you think Adams projects as their starting left guard or right guard? Do you get a sense on that? I
don't think it matters. Yeah, like if they go out and they get a premier guard in free agency, I think that whomever that guard is, they're going to get to pick the side they want. Mm-hmm. But, I'd probably keep him at right guard. And then, Evan Brown, it wouldn't surprise me if he was brought back. This is such a supremely gifted and well-coached unit. I know it's easy to dog on them because they did not play well against Seattle, and it appears to be the anomaly. Well, they've given up less than 30 sacks. I saw today they're top 9 in both pass and run blocking efficiency. They're so well coached up front. That's why this whole passing game thing is all the more frustrating because, as Britton Golden said, you use the run to set up the pass. You have a plus offensive line that doesn't give up sacks, and you still can't get the passing game going. Like, everything is set for you to do it, and they still can't do it. But the offensive line is not the problem. It's the solution.
He had a tough day against Seattle a week ago. For him to kind of rebound in his second full game's worth of snaps, where he played 70 again, it just kind of shows to the resolve of a guy that I think a little older as a first-year player, but at the same time a really good skill set, and it would be under contract for 3 more seasons after this on his rookie deal. It's exciting to think about, and I really wouldn't doubt that they utilize anywhere from a first to a second to a third to continue to rebuild this offensive line with homegrown products, which is awesome.
I will not be negative today, which is why there will be no trending down, but we're going to do more. We're going to do more. We're going to do more trending up today. I'm not going to be the Grinch. I'm not going to be Johnny Scrooge. Let's get another trending up graphic. Damon, Dawg. Let's keep the good vibes going on a Victory Monday. How about the improved home field advantage for the Arizona Cardinals? This is a horror show of a statistic, but it needs to be pointed out. Jonathan Gannon secures the first home win record at 5-3 with the potential to go 6-3 for the first time since, Bruce Arians in 2017. That just shows you how awful Cliff Kingsbury was at winning games at State Farm Stadium. Most years, they were well under 500. Then the red zone offense, Bo, you already mentioned it. Multiple touchdowns yesterday, including 2 by James Conner. And there's Baron Browning. You threw shade at me. Baron Browning with his first sack of the season with the Arizona Cardinals. TFL looking good. Baron Browning, could he be back in a Dennis Gardeck role next year? What do you think about our second edition of Trending Up today?
It just warms my heart. It really does. I see the green here for Trending Up, and I also reminds me of Mike Luke singing the Grinch today on PHNX Sports.
Oh,
and
I miss that. I need that.
You didn't miss it. You didn't miss anything. Johnny Venerable's heart growing 3 sizes with a second helping of Trending Up. What a guy. Just 'tis the season. The reason for the season is Johnny Venerable just being an overall good guy.
Sometimes you have to put things into context, and Jonathan Gannon is a winner, and that needs to be celebrated. I want to talk about the Cardinals' renewed home field advantage right around the corner here on PHNX Cardinals. Speaking of winning, I'm winning every day as a proud member of Desert Financial Credit Union, the official credit union of PHNX Sports, PHNX Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Venerable household. They've got a team of financial experts who are committed to their members. And again, it's not just a one-off transaction, friends. They've got checking accounts, savings, mortgages, loans, credit cards. How about investment options, plus much, much more. They've got a ton of locations here in the Valley, in the East Valley especially. I can drive 5-10 minutes, find an ATM, find an expert that's going to help me get my money fast, quick, and in a hurry. Plus, if you're an Arizona sports fan, no better place to do your banking. The Desert Financial Credit Union. It's the only place, Bo, you can show your team spirit every single day. Check out those Arizona Cardinal Visa debit cards. They got the player, the helmet, and of course the coup de grace, the Cardinal bird. I love them all. I can't wait to swap them out, keep things fresh. Show your team spirit online right now. Open up a free checking account. Go to desertfinancial.com/Cardinals, Bo, to get started.
Check out that lid on Johnny's head. Also, Damon Dawg wearing one. And if you watched any episode last week, I was sporting one. It was a beautiful pennant PHNX Brandon Bills collab. We love Brandon Bills because we know it elevates our brand. Help Brandon Bills elevate your brand. Don't delay. Check out and save some money while you can. 20% off with the code PHNX at brandonbills.com. You're looking for something for your company. You're looking for something for your kids' little league team, maybe your slow pitch softball league. You guys looking like a couple, like some bums, some hobos out there. Why don't you elevate your team's game with some nice lids from Brandon Bills? It's not just snapbacks, but they got them. They got truckers. They got fitteds. They've got beanies. They also have tees. Brandon Bills has covered with performance and style, perfect apparel to elevate whatever. You got the college football playoff coming. You want to rep the Sun Devils. They are partnered up with ASU. They are part of the campus collection plus U of A and GCU. If you're a Lope campus collection, it could be for you. Local company, Mesa, Arizona, but man, they are worldwide. I was at my niece's softball tournament. You had people from all over coming to town. Everybody was wearing a different Brandon Bill. They are taking over local company. Head to brandonbills.com. Use the code PHNX. 20% off that first order. brandonbills.com. Code PHNX.
Drop a like.
Hey, I got a little nugget for you. We were talking about Greg Dortch. He's a restricted free agent.
Oh.
Do you
think they'll tender him?
It really be interesting. Monty Osford seems to be a guy that usually is aired on the side of filling the position before having to go to free agency and then of course the draft. Could it be something where they tender him the restricted free agent tender, or do they just let him? He's a victim of it because it's what you have accrued. Now, how long you've been out of college, and Greg Dortch he's been, of course, exclusive rights guy for the last 2 seasons, and like relative to the NFL, hasn't had a chance, an opportunity to go test the market. So this could like handicap his earning potential still, but it would make sense for the Cardinals to continue to kind of bring back somebody who plays so many roles for him.
I mean, he's a victim of this passing game too. Can we just call a spade a spade? He's a victim in a lot of different ways. He's got 258 receiving yards on the year. He's only got 29 catches on 42 attempts. But I mean, like, if it was me, if I was Greg, as much as I love this team, like I would want to go and pursue big money elsewhere and to have a focal point in passing game. This is not until this offense is wide receiver friendly. Like we all should have known last year on day 2 of the draft, on that fateful Friday night when Bo and I sat in studio and they used a 3rd round pick on a blocking tight end, it should have been the biggest red flag possible that we knew what we were in store for. And even we didn't take the tea leaves. We didn't understand at that time how severe they were going to be in establishing the run, how committed they were going to be not utilizing multiple receivers. And
it was a heist that happened in front of our very eyes.
That's right. That's right.
It really was. I mean, we talked to Jonathan Gannon. You hear, comments from Drew Petzing. You see how the roster's built, who they're bought in on as far as, the team goes, and James Conner and how they want to be a run first team and a defensive mind. And it's like, well, they've got Marv, they've got Kyler Murray. Can they be this high flying offense? Can we wish for that? And they're like, no, you can't.
Drew Petzing did his best Danny Ocean. He just looked at us and he's like, look over here. And he's got Brad Pitt and the boys drafted Tip Ryman in the 3rd round. So they could just, I see more Tip Ryman breakdowns than I see of Michael Wilson on Twitter. And that is a federal crime. And I love Tip Ryman. I'm sure he's a good dude and he's carved out a niche, but man, oh man, they just love their 3 tight end sets, don't they, brother? I mean, it's just, but you know what? If it worked against everybody, I'm not going to sit here and complain. And I think I had conditioned myself to believe like, oh, this can beat anybody. And then they faced good teams and they couldn't score touchdowns. So I don't know. It feels very safe. We're in a safe space.
I'm a bbit of a sucker for a 3 tight end set. I'm a bit of a sucker for 13 personnel. What can I say?
Come on, Drew. Somebody was saying,
can't you just see him smoozing somebody at a Christmas party or something out there? And he's like, what can I say? I love it. I can't get away from it.
We were talking about this in studio. Somebody needs to sit Drew Petzing down and say, Drew, you're not going to get hired for a head coaching job this way. First of all, let's grow some facial hair. Let's get the passing game going. Let's sex it up. Let's get the sex appeal going.
Who are you, like Ryan
let's do some muscles. Let's do some get
Crazy
the sweatshirt
Love.
off.
You're gonna go like teach him how to be this cool guy, this head coaching candidate.
As my fellow Damon, we had that conversation yesterday. Fellow short kings, Damon and I will go up to Drew and just say, Drew, muscle tee, right? Deep V-neck, facial hair, deep passing game. Instead of no hair,
sports
no passing
car
game. Yes. Come on, Drew. Time is now. Rip the Band-Aid off.
The time is to compensate right now. Overcompensate.
Cliff Kingsbury, Drew, is getting head coaching interviews. I know you're just as smart as him, but he's got that cash. We got to get Drew the cachet. I think it really would help him. It would help his image. He's going to go into these interviews if he gets interviews talking about Tip Ryman. That's not going to help him.
How would you rank these? So deep downfield passing game or goatee? Which one do you prioritize?
You think you know? I don't think you can have one without the other.
By the way, not a goatee, the facial hair. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe a soul patch to get things started. That's like the minimum. Hey, can we get Marv a crossing route per game plus Drew? You got to get a soul patch, and then we'll go with the chin strap, and then Marv. We finally figure out the end zone fade. Yeah. We'll just start layering one on top of each other. We'll get the V-neck going. Nick Rouse has got some aura, right? He's a young kid. He's in his early 30s. He's a good-looking guy, and he's just, he's messing people up defensively. He's making guys like Mac Wilson stars. Come on, Drew, let's get it going. Yeah. We can help you. We're an image consultants here on PHNX Cardinals. That's what we are. Damon and I were literally having this conversation.
Have we elevated? Whose image have we elevated?
Come on. I don't think we need to get into the details here.
Yeah.
Here are the details for you. If you're watching with us on our streaming partners, jump from our fine streaming partners over to gophnx.com. The party continues. Plus, we await your super chats. A very good cause here on a holiday victory Monday. Myself, Brack, Damon, Dawg. Smash that like button. We got 500 people watching right now. I would imagine all 500 would like to see the evolution of Drew Petzing and the aura continue to evolve here. Come on. Confidence breeds. If he's worried about, I got to be conservative. If he's got a little bit more swag on the sideline, maybe he's like, you know what? 3rd and 4, I'm going to take a deep shot. 3rd and 4, I'm going to run a post route instead of draw to DeMercado. I think there's something to it.
Yeah. You mentioned Mac Wilson. He's in concussion protocol. We're still waiting to hear on Trey Benson's ankle. No more Dermacano.
That didn't sound good, by the way, when Gannon was asked about that today.
No, it didn't. So could it finally be Michael Carter's season? Potentially. But that's why it pays to have a guy like Michael Carter buried on your practice squad, hidden away.
How about the DJ Dallas tush push yesterday under center? That was interesting. Eddie Lacy, I think Brayton Golden in the studio said Eddie Lacy 2.0. That was good with DJ Dallas.
Yeah.
Anything but Kyler under center or Clayton Tune, respect. But no, I don't want that.
You had Baron Browning there on your trending up, and if Mac Wilson is out, you need more pass rush reps for Browning. I was looking at his PFF, not very complimentary from the grades. I think he graded out at like 48. This is why sometimes it's just a trash. The grades are trash. He had an 88 pass rush grade though, and if that's where he's going to excel, and had 4 total pressures, including 2 hurries and a sack. Pretty damn good day for Baron Browning against a bad Pats offensive line.
He's not good in space, and he's not good after ball carriers. Like, he looks slow. I'm not knocking the guy. He just does. Like, if he has to go out and cover a slot receiver or even an athletic tight end underneath, he's not going to make the play. But he is good in the pocket, trying to disrupt a quarterback. Should he be your number one? Of course not. Can he maybe be a rotational 2 next year? I think so. I think with Dennis Gardeck coming off your books, like, this is the logical next guy. You want to give him a 2-year deal with an option for a 3rd and some incentives for some guarantees? No problem. I think there was intent when they traded for him to see if he could stick around and buy in. And if he's a good guy, absolutely keep him around. But let's not get it twisted here. They're missing an alpha dog off the edge. Zaven Collins had a sack yesterday. Probably should have belonged to Baron Browning. Baron Browning probably should have had 2 sacks yesterday. So I think your depth chart next year needs to go A+ trade prospect at edge rusher, a draft pick or signee at edge rusher, Baron Browning, Zaven Collins, B.J. Ojulari. That's the top 2 pass rushers off the edge on your team are not on your team yet for next year. That's my opinion.
I mean, even if it's just sticking and picking in the draft, I think that there's some intriguing prospects coming off the edge, and you couple that with, maybe reuniting Jonathan Gannon with Hassan Reddick. Doesn't that pass rush room sound really good? Second year of Darius Robinson. I mean, then you're cooking with gas there as far as defensively. I mean, you're already seeing a really solid defensive performance across the entirety of the season, but you start to really add some pieces because they've kind of built this defense backwards. Like they've utilized most of their draft capital with their defensive secondary. And, obviously with, Craig Morgan reporting that they're going to keep Budda Baker and that secondary is going to be intact and just going to take another step next year. Max Melton could make the Garrett Williams, move as far as from year 1 to year 2. But you start to add maybe another interior piece. And then of course to this pass rush route, look out. It's really going to be a defense that could enter the top 10 and the top 5.
Listen, we didn't get our 500 likes last Wednesday. I was disappointed by that. We were going to name drop a pass rusher last week. I'm not going to name him right now. Yeah. But if you can read the tea leaves, he was in the news over the weekend, and his team was in the news over the weekend with regard to potentially not re-signing said player. And the Cardinals called on said player at the NFL trade deadline this past October. So you put 2 and 2 together. If that player is available, which he should be available this offseason, guess who's going to have interest? The Arizona Cardinals. Everybody falling in love with pick 19 right now. Don't. Rent pick 19 right now, friends. And I love draft season, and we do it better than anybody on this show, and we will continue to do so. We're renting that pick and maybe a 2025, 2026 first rounder as well. Just putting that out there.
That's not just, putting that out there. That's some pretty big news.
Monty Ossenford knows what needs to be done defensively. And I think that's why we feel so good about what's happening with this team under JG. It's because it's like the offensive infrastructure needs growth, development, and maybe a kick in the ass. The defense has you've paid your dues defensively.
Yeah.
Now you can be selfish. You can take a selfish if you're JG and Nick Ross and say, go get me an alpha dog. I need 1 to 2 more pieces. Max Melton's a star. Budda Baker, Taylor Demerson, Jalen Thompson, I thought played well. Mac Wilson's under contract. They'll probably re-sign Kazir White, team-friendly deal. Then you get, a full season from Darius. This defense next year, we had aspirations of a top 10 offense, which have come to be fool's gold. Top 10 defense is absolutely in play next year. Absolutely in play.
And you've got you're going to play the NFC South. That's great, right? And I can't remember who your AFC opponent division would be playing, but it's not, AFC East like you faced this year.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it's both Salves, because my God, those are 2 of the worst divisions in football.
Just finish strong.
Every year.
Yeah.
Damon's got a playoff percentage odds graphic. If you're into that kind of thing, changes every week. Damon Dawg, let's see it, my guy. Arizona Cardinals 14% in the hunt, but again, you went out. Both the Cardinals went out. Are they making the playoffs?
Yes,
I think so.
Because that's a win over the Rams. That's the week 17 is the big decider. 14%, so they'll beat Carolina, and it might move up to and the Seahawks could very well lose to the Vikings next week. So you'll start to see Cardinals go up a little bit, the Seahawks drop down, and the Rams are going to play, the crappy Jets. They'll see theirs go up a little bit, but it's just going to come down to week 17. It's going to be another, tweet out there from Aaron Schatz that says whoever wins this matchup in week 17, their playoff odds, go through the roof, and whoever loses, they're done.
Week 17 has every opportunity to be everything we want preseason for the end of the year. And it's Kyler Murray. We got to get there, and they got to beat the Panthers this weekend. But we fast forward to next week. It's going to be the biggest game. 2 weeks ago was the biggest game, and they blew it. So to have a renewed life on this season be unbelievable. I do want to highlight their home record. Jonathan Gannon, Bo, you asked him about that today. First time having a winning record at State Farm Stadium since Bruce Arians did it in 2017 for an 8-8 team. And, you put out that tweet, or that tweet went out today, and Gannon's comments were out there. And I was surprised to see a lot of positive engagement, because a lot of people roll their eyes and 7-7, over 500 at home. The amount of people that appreciate now being able to go to State Farm Stadium and watching good football and taking their kids and their significant others and not having their butts kicked by the opposing fan base. Everybody talks about, how do you restore the red seat? That's how you do it. Win games at home every year. You can play 500 football. Hell, you can be below 500 on the road most years. But if you have a winning, dominant record at home, you're in great shape. And I just love what I see from JG and company at home, because since that Washington game, Bo, they're undefeated at home. And that was back at the end of September. That's unbelievable and well-deserved.
They lost to Seattle.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I missed that one. My bad.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's the sign of a team that takes care of business. Because if you win, most of your home games, you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, the bad teams in this league, you put yourself in a position. And then once you start to beat the good teams, then you start to catapult yourself into that conversation. What's the old adage? It's lose big, lose close, win big. And it's if you follow the Detroit Lions over the last couple of years, and if you get the blueprint correct, it usually looks like that. You just go like that. And the Arizona Cardinals, regardless of how you feel after week 17, because it's going to tell you a lot, you're going to feel like you can make a couple hard decisions based on the results of that game. It doesn't deny that this season they made a ton of organizational progress to go from going 4-13 back-to-back seasons to 9-8, 10-7. It's overall a victory, no doubt about it, for the Cardinals organization.
We're going to get to your super chats. Big reminder to everybody, become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. No better time than right now. Sign up, just $48 a month. Big thank you to all of our new diehards. We got 500 people watching here on a Victory Monday. Drop a like and subscribe here on the show. Let's get things started with some super chats. Mr. Bo Brock, Joey Kennedy, $4.99. Tonight we'll see Justin Jefferson schemed open several times. It must be possible to draw up something better for Marv than forcing a jump ball. I do feel like I get it. He is not making the wow plays, the Fitz plays, the 50-50 balls, but I do think there's some wiggle room, Bo, in the notion of, can we just get Marv some easy targets to get him going? Because it can't be all or nothing. Oh, you're the 4th overall pick and the X receiver. You don't deserve easy targets. Well, no, he's 23 years old.
Well, I think his second target, which was a reception yesterday, wasn't about like 6-8 yards.
Yeah.
Where was that? Why didn't they just try that? Why couldn't they do that within, the second half offense where, it was primarily running the football, or it was targets to Trey McBride? That's the key. That's the biggest confusing part of it. But look, KOC's right there with Ben Johnson as far as one of the better offensive minds in the league. And Justin Jefferson is him and Jamar Chase as far as, and CeeDee Lamb as far as the top wide receivers go in this league.
Can I also say, like, the easy targets, and this isn't a knock on him, go to Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Trey McBride gets the underneath stuff, and he breaks tackles, and he deserves it. But, like, a lot of receivers in the NFL have the Trey McBride route tree. Marv does not. Like, Marv's route tree, it's very exclusive for an X receiver. And I think, like, can't we meet in the middle? Can we agree that, like, Kyler's got to be better, and Marv's got to be better, and Petsing's got to be better, and everybody give a little to get a little? It feels like we're all pointing the finger at different people, depending on who you talk to. And it's like, they need to get these 3 guys in a room. Just figure it out. Come on. I'm sick of watching this.
Yep. Everybody's with that. Let's keep it going with the super chats. The guy Kyle, $10. I think they definitely want to control the time of possession and run the football and play dink and dunk game. But my boy Johnny wants them to go deep at least a few times a game. Ha. I think we all want to see shots. Hell, Jonathan Gannon, that's one of our first, memories of JG, going to Rondell Moore and saying this offense is going to be shots, pew, shots, explosives.
They have to be amongst the worst teams in the NFL for big plays. They have to be amongst the worst. Like, you watch Baker Mayfield flipping 30 touchdowns with Mike Evans for part of the year, no Chris Godwin, and they're ripping the ball up and down the field. He lost his offensive coordinator last year.
Yeah.
Why does that make sense? Like, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray are not that far apart. And it's like, he throws some interceptions. Jared Goff throws picks. Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert threw some interceptions. Interceptions, they don't bother me all that often. But you got to have an opportunity. Where it hurts with Kyler is, he's throwing picks, and then we know the big plays aren't coming. Then it's like, well, you threw an interception, Kyler, so guess what? Now we're going to go back and we're going to run the ball even harder. And it's like, no, just Kurt Warner was the king of, I threw a pick six, time to go out there and keep slinging it, 500 yards passing. Like, I don't know. It's way too conservative. We've got Turtle Trolls, $1.99. Not conservative here. JV shaking in his boots after that Browning sack. I thought he had 2 yesterday. I thought I was going to have to do some humiliation, but
yeah, good
for him. He looks good, and they're going to need him. Like, terrorize Bryce Young, and then please God get after Matthew Stafford. But I want to see the arrow point up. If he and Darius are playing well toward the end of the year, that's a huge development for the Cardinals' opportunity to win these last 3 games. They have a chance to really kind of differentiate this defense moving forward here.
Yeah. Each and every one of these super chats going to our friends over at Sanderson Ford and their 24th annual Operation Santa Claus. So keep them coming. As long as you're dropping super chats, we're staying live. Thank you for each and every just cent that you can provide to such a great cause. Our guy Donnie picking spreads $1.99. I never wish injury, but Geno could be massive.
Do we have an update on Geno Smith, Bo?
I think I was talking to the resident Seahawks fan around here, Shane Diefenbach, shameful. He said that there was no structural, but there's still obviously chance he misses time.
I mean, if he doesn't play against the Vikings, that's a loss. They're not beating the Vikings with Sam Howell, the Magic Man. No chance. Brian, my guy, Loves to blow me BS. I love Brian. $5. $1 for every time Johnny killed the Rams and they rose from the shallow grave. Take a hint from the football gods, Johnny. No, because that's when it's going to make it that much sweeter when the Cardinals beat them in 2 weeks and we can say they're officially dead. But not too dead that they can't beat the Seahawks tonight. Listen, McVay's an elite coach. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback. They have weapons. But I still think their defense is big-time fraudulent. You see McVay, somebody asked him about Aaron Donald coming back, and he's like, we wouldn't be opposed to that. It's like, shut the hell up, McVay. Come on. Leave Aaron Donald retirement alone.
Yeah. Iron, $10. I'm confused, JV. You say the Cards went out and Seattle 2-1 with must loss to the Rams, wins the division. Don't they actually beat us head-to-head division since we'll both be 10-7 at that point? But they lose to the Rams. That's the key here. So, yeah, they would be 3-3 in the division. The Cardinals, if they beat the Rams, they would finish 4-2 in the division. Because
head-to-head does not matter.
Yeah. Head-to-head isn't it the next determining factor? Yeah.
Which is crazy. And Seahawk fans are going to piss and moan if that happens, but it doesn't matter. If Cardinals finish 4-2 and the Seahawks finish 3-3 and the Rams finish 4-2, Cardinals will have the tiebreaker over everybody, which is flipping insane. All the Cardinals need to win out, and then we're going to have a conversation 1 week at a time. Josh, $5. JV needs to give Jonah, Barron, DJ, and Tip their flowers today. Jonah Williams played his best game of the year yesterday. Kudos to him. Let's see you do it against some good teams here coming up. Jonah, absolutely. Barron, I already gave flowers to. DJ Dallas, I already said I love the sneak under center for DJ Dallas. And listen, Josh, Tip Ryman, I like the player. I hate what he represents. Not as a person. I hate what he represents with this team, that they used the top 100 player on a third tight end. Yeah. And not only that, now it's hampering the development indirectly of the fourth overall pick.
Yeah.
Like, did Marvin Tip Ryman have almost the same amount of catches yesterday? That is straight to jail, Drew Petzing. Straight to jail. Prison.
Very poorly said. Alex, $4.99. Bo and JV are the angel and the devil on my shoulders when talking about this team.
That's how we like it. That's how we like it. Chill, boys.
Josh
is back. Are you the devil or am I the devil?
You're the devil.
Did that even need to be asked? Devil boy. Josh, $5. Can't wait to see this defense once some big money is spent on them. Absolutely. D-Rob is already looking like a monster, and the DBs are great. They're so flipping well coached. Gannon's got it figured out. Nick Rallis. They're flying around. Like, Mac Wilson leaves the game yesterday. It's like, ho-hum, we're not going to allow a touchdown to the fourth quarter. Like, Chris Barnes comes in and plays well. You can't say enough good things. And here's what. I was arguing with like a YouTube user last night. In one of the comments, he was like, all the resources have gone to the defense. And I'm like, turn your brain on, sir. Like, the offense has the resources. 2 of their first 3 first-round picks on offense. All the money. Quarterback, running back. They drafted a third-round receiver. It's all on offense, bro.
Yeah.
Defense. Who they got defensively? They got a defensive line and practice squad, guys.
Seems healthy. I think you should argue more on YouTube. You guys are crushing it, by the way. Super chats, they continue coming in. As I said, we stay on air as long as these super chats continue to roll in.
I never know.
I got Yanks, $1.99. Gone are the days of development. It's now or bust.
Next week's going to be the most. If the Cardinals win, next week's going to be the most inseparable week for Kyler Murray narratives. Like, it just.
Oh man,
I'm my body's ready for it. This is what we train for.
Yeah.
But if they win this weekend and Kyler Murray has to play the Rams on prime time for the division, get the barf bag ready.
Isn't it? It's like the battle of the bastards between the pro Kyler and the anti Kyler. Like, everybody's sharpening their swords. They're sitting up. They're preparing for battle. Whatever the result is of Week 17, if they take care of business this week against Carolina, everybody is gearing up for it. Illa Dre, love our guy Illa Dre, $1.99, best podcast hands down. Thank you, my guy. We appreciate that.
Love Illa Dre. She's always so positive and complimentary of the show. Not calling
just
names.
Like you. Yeah, he's just like you. Very positive person.
No one's more positive or humble than me. Shaft, our guy, $25. Wow. Man. First of 2 $25 super chats. MHJ had 5 targets in the first half with 3 catches. 1 was negated for a penalty, which I think they definitely should have accepted. How dare you take away statistics from Marv? Of the 4 incompletions, 2
declined it.
Yeah, well, they declined it and they went backwards, which even the broadcast
of like minus 9 yards. Like, sure, they get the down. It would have been 3rd and 1. Instead, they chose to go to first.
And then they had an immediate penalty, and we're 1st and 20. And I'm like,
yeah,
pack it up, Drew. That was right before the half. I've seen enough, Drew. That's why I tweeted out, this offense is literally poison.
That was Greg Dortch to the rescue on that.
Bailed them out.
Where they were facing, it was a 3rd and 9, and they get the first down.
And where was that pass on 3rd and 9? Like 5 yards before the line to gain. That's the point of the offense. It's like, you're living and dying like that. Greg gets tackled. We're all sitting here like, you moron. What are you running that play for? Okay, of the 4 incompletions, 2 could have been flagged. Absolutely. I thought Christian Gonzalez played well, but he wasn't playing the ball. But MHJ gets no respect from the refs. Gonzo did make a great play on one. MHJ is fine. MHJ is fine.
He did. He said he did. Yeah, the one in the end zone, I think, is
did make a play. Yep.
No doubt about it. Shaft continues on. $50 in total. Very generous. Thank you so much. Shaft, my biggest beef is we're too predictable. We had 24 first down plays and we ran on 19 of them. That's insane. Open up the offense more like Kyler, throw more on first down. Kyler's the best when outside the pocket.
Boot him around. Yep. Russell Wilson, peak Russell Wilson, booting him around. Let him.
That's kind of insulting, isn't it?
No, like peak Russell Wilson during like the 2010s, running around.
The let Russ cook days. Is that what we're looking at?
How about Russ playing really well with the deep ball and having an elite defense?
It was an elite with the deep ball yesterday, but he didn't have George Pickens, so that makes a big difference. $4.99 or $49.99. David Shepard.
Thank you, David. So unbelievable.
Right there with Shaft as far as total super chats. You guys are awesome. All this goes to our friends over at Sanderson Ford and Operation Santa Claus. First off, you guys are psychologically abused JV last night. You guys,
it's true. I'm still feeling the effects
more
today.
With the man. LOL. Bo, you're right that it was a huge win, but we won in the only way we know how. Good run game and solid defense that can only get us so far.
His super chat is not the only thing rich with generosity and kindness. That is well said. Maybe the wellest said super chat of the week thus far. They have a shelf life. They have a ceiling. You can have a ceiling when you have Joshua Dobbs in there and you want to do smoke and mirrors, Drew Petzing. But when you got a quarterback that is as talented as Kyler Murray, and you've got Marvin and Trey and Michael and James, and you drafted multiple tight ends, and you want to open this offense up, like, you can have a run-dominant offense that throws the ball deep. Like, it's not like you can just have one or the other. It's like, no, you can be a running team, or you can be a deep play-action team, or you can be like a 10-personnel Cliff Kingsbury team. It's like, no, you can have your cake and eat it too. When you're at practice, Bo, and you're watching the team, I know you've taken video. It's been on our social. It's been on YouTube. People have stolen it for their own benefit. They're running deep posts. I've seen it happen. They run deep routes, but then in games, either they don't connect on it, they don't run it. I mean, that's bizarre. Think back to like July and August, and we're covering training camp, and they're running routes that we never see now, ever.
Yeah.
When's the last time somebody caught a post? Flipping 2 months ago?
Yeah, maybe. Kyler, because Shaft, I like this point. Kyler, first, when he throws the ball on first down, he's got 193 dropbacks. He's completed 71% of his passes for 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, just 1 interception. He's only been sacked 5 times and nearly 200 dropbacks on first down. I think they need to dial up the passes on first down a little bit more. Seems to be productive. T. Cleary, $9.99.
Thank
you. T. Cleary, let's take a deep breath and remember where this team was and what the future will be. Team needs time to gel. An influx of talent will only help. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
I'm with you. The team is going to be much better on paper next year, but do they have the right people involved to take advantage? Next year, I mean, like the expectation next year should be to win the NFC West.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at, we talk about the Lions blueprint. When they were 9-8, they were rolling offensively. Like they scored 25 points per game. The Cardinals just over 20 points per game, almost 21.
Bad.
4 points different per game. But Ben Johnson had him in a good spot.
the Cardinals are better defensively than that Lions team was with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, I think Nick Rallis has a higher ceiling as defensive head coach than Aaron Glenn does, and that team had Aiden Hutchinson. But yeah, the Lions had it going at the end of the year with their run game that set up not Jamison Williams, but Amon-Ra, especially Amon-Ra St. Brown. Trey, 199. Drew Petzing needs an Anquan Bolden if we want MHJ to be Larry. I would argue, Trey, like Anquan Bolden is the only receiver that could play for Drew Petzing because it has to be like a Debo running back wide receiver combination. It has to be a guy who's going to break tackles underneath. Marvin is not a finesse receiver, but he's not an Anquan. Mina Kimes comes on our show, and I ask her every time, where's the yak with MHJ? She goes, it's not part of his game. Well, I'm looking at this offense. It feels like the only receivers that Petzing values are guys that get yak, a la James Conner out of the backfield and Trey McBride. So maybe Malik Neighbors would have been a better fit. Maybe Malik Neighbors at the end of the day for what they want to do, because you're using Marvin Harrison Jr. It's like we talk about. You want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be a forerunner, and he's a Maserati. Take that puppy out on the interstate. Don't put it, on gravel. I don't know cars.
Trey Coulter, 199. Tape shows wide receivers not separating in the passing game.
I mean, Marvin didn't have. He had a little bit of separation.
There was enough on the play, I thought, for separate, because otherwise, like if he's getting separations in the first row and touchdown pass, I mean, some of the advanced metrics have Marvin Harrison Jr., especially in man-to-man coverage, being a decent separator. So it's tough. And we'll look at I've got the L22. I'll take a look at what kind of some of the routes look like yesterday. But that's a consistent criticism. Sick of my job, $10. Back when we were last relevant, 15, 16, we had speedy, short receivers like Smoke and Nelson on the outside that would run go routes. We haven't utilized Dortch in taking the top off the defense. Why haven't we utilized Dortch in taking the top off the defense?
Why can't Marv run that? I watched him run that at Ohio State. Is Marv slow? He's not slow. He's fast. Michael Wilson's fast. Michael Wilson caught a deep ball last week. They don't value the deep ball. Last year they did. They had Rondale Moore run a couple go routes. Flipping pot. I just want to gouge my eyes out sometimes watching this offense. It's terrible. Johan Dotson, $4.99. Thank you, sick of my job. Very generous super chat. Playoff teams convert third and long when it matters most. I have no faith the Cardinals can make the big play when the time comes. 100% valid. I think all of us are fearful. The LA Rams are going to sell out to stop the run. They have a bunch of young players that have grown over the course of the season. Their run defense is better. I don't think it's very good still. 3rd and 8 against the LA Rams, and you got to make a play. Is it a check down to the Mercado's gone now? Insert X running back here. Is it a check down to Tip Ryman, or can Kyler Murray throw a seam to Marvin Harrison Jr. for a big play? We haven't seen it all year. And that's why I thought yesterday was the best time to rip off that Band-Aid. I wouldn't care if the Cardinals won by 3 points yesterday. But if we showed some semblance of life in the passing game, you can build off of that. I am of the mindset, like there's some fool's gold yesterday. I know James Conner can run the football. I don't need that yesterday to convince me of that. What I don't know is, to Johan's point, can the Cardinals make the big throw when it matters most on 3rd down?
Jason, $10. I'm not going to entertain that. That's not, you don't sincerely mean that they squeak a 3-point win over the Patriots. That's kind of ridiculous. Over a 30-17 ass whooping. They were trying new stuff with MHJ, motion a ton, etc. Still ain't right. Need to at Carolina, but needs to be at full speed. Throw to everyone. Glad my first super chat is for all my guys, Jason and Prescott. Thank you so much, Jason. We really appreciate. If it's your first opportunity to super chat and it goes to a great cause like Operation Santa Claus, we appreciate that even more so.
Carolina Panthers yesterday against the Dallas Cowboys in Cooper Rush. They allowed 3 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 116 through the air and a touchdown, 13 yards per carries per catch, 9 receptions on 13 targets.
You're just going to barf. You know what's interesting? Cooper Rush, not a bad quarterback.
Hang on.
Have you looked at his numbers? The guy's made 12 starts.
I regret nothing more than picking the Steelers for my hold or fold the line pick this week. My dad can attest to this. It was between the Cowboys and the Steelers, and the Panthers should not be favored over anybody.
Yeah,
that was clear as
the
day.
first time they were favored in 34 games.
And what were we thinking? Not taking Cowboys plus money that's on me. That's on me. I went for the big juice, Steelers plus 200. You guys got my head a little bit. Started playing your guys' game, not my own game. And I just realized I got to get back to bread and butter.
Cooper Rush, his numbers, 10 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's got 8 touchdowns in his last 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Their schedule's a joke, though. I mean,
he's got 18 in 12 starts. He's got 18 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, 60% completion percentage. Pretty decent. Like, that's a good backup, really good backup quarterback.
Who are their receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb? Dirt McGirt? They have no one. I look at that. You know, I think Drew Petzing, that's an indictment of you. Like Cooper Rush can throw 3 touchdowns against Carolina. Kyler Murray better do that this weekend, Drew.
Yeah. Trevor Begay, Rico Dowdle.
But the run game, Rico Dowling had like 160 yards. They could still throw touchdowns. But Rico.
Is this the Arizona moment to go on a run to the playoffs? Fingers crossed. Let's go, Trevor. I'm here for it.
Frank Sanders would say yes. Circa 1999. 8. T-Votto, $2. Cardinals make playoffs. Johnny eats a whole steak. I'm going to eat a whole steak, T-Votto, at the Combine this year, and it's going to be filmed. It's going to be live streamed. It's going to be put on all socials, and Bo and Damon are going to have to sit there and just like the $9.99 challenge, eat a lot of crow. Biggest steak that steakhouse has, 14-ounce, 12-ounce ribeye.
No way that's the biggest.
You get the tomahawk?
If you're doing biggest, like you might have just got yourself into a hole where you got to eat like a 40-ounce steak.
No, I'll do a solid 12-ounce steak. But here's what I
You're
do.
taking a step down.
12 ounces.
Damon took down a 14-ounce last year.
You ate a 14-ouncer, Damon?
Yeah, of course I did. You need a license to eat a 12-ounce steak, Johnny?
I hate you. You've been fired. Here's the problem is when we go to St. Elmo's, I like the appetizers. I like the aroma. I like to enjoy myself. And if I'm on the clock getting gross, like the $9.99 challenge, it ruins the experience.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
The largest steak they have on their menu. Wow. The largest one it looks like they have is the USDA Prime Tomahawk Ribeye, 32 ounces.
Oh, I think I weigh that much. I'll do it solid.
You could go down. You could get a porterhouse for 28 ounces.
No, I'm mirroring. We're all doing the same thing. We're all getting the same thing. I've already decided that. You have no input. We're all getting the same size steak, 12 or 14. And I'm sitting there just like the $9.99 challenge, and we're finishing it in unison. It is being ordered first, so then after the fact, I can digest it, maybe use the restroom, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy shrimp cocktail and maybe some bread, maybe some carbs because I've earned it. You got to watch those carbs, though. AC, $2, Battle of the Bastards. I'm stealing that. Who is Ramsey? Ramsey Bolton in the Battle of the Bastards. McVay? Stafford?
The most despicable character in the history of television. Is that Sean McVay?
It is. It's McVay. For sure is.
Look at his spiky hair. With his gelled up hair.
Hey guys, getting Darren Donnelly might come back. I don't know, he might come back this week. We'll see.
The worst McVay.
He's got a little bit of the Ramsey Bolton eyes a little bit, doesn't he? Now that Johnny said it. Can't you just see that? Yeah. Just huge bulging eyes.
Hey, Sansa Stark this week. $4.99. Dad's drinking again. This show's never going off the air. MHJ has 6 targets, but dropped 2 in the end zone. He should be involved in the short passing game. By the way, they are talking about Parsons, everyone. Maybe. Marvin should be involved in every facet of the passing game because Trey is not good enough. And as great as he is, he can't be the only option in the passing game. The best teams are going to do their best to take Trey McBride away. And you took Marv 4th overall to use him. You're in a position you win the NFC West. Figure it out. Figure it out. You all right?
Dying over here. Don't make me laugh anymore. With your horrible Sean McVay impression. Keeping it going here. Who is this? Neon Man?
Yeah.
Neo Man, 15. Monty needs to fire Drew Petzing, promote Drew Terrell, and hire Brian Hartline to take over as offensive passing coordinator. Give offense life. Brian Hartline is interviewing for college head coaching jobs. I don't know if he's going to take passing game coordinator position.
He needs to get away from Ryan Day. We need to protect Brian Hartline from Ryan Day.
I think he's trying to.
Yeah.
I think he's graduated. I think he's got another crop of NFL first round pick wide receivers that are on their way, and he's going to cash in. Hopefully, get a good college head coaching position here.
We need to save Brian Hartline from fraud Ryan Day. Brian Hartline, friend of this program, came on and said Marv was the best receiver prospect he'd ever seen, and Jackson Smith and Jigba and company and Garrett Wilson would sit in practice, be like, "Did you see what that guy did?" The Cardinals are ruining that player. Like this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Big thanks to everybody in all seriousness who donated to the cause today with their super chats. We appreciate it, as does our friends at Sanderson Ford. What a Victory Monday show. And tomorrow we were back. Mina Kimes, what to make of the NFC West, and can the Cardinals figure it out? I don't know what Bo's doing. A lot of good stuff happening, Bo Brack, here on the Twitter and YouTube streets.
That's right. Mina Kimes, and one more day to donate your super chat proceeds to our friends over at Operation Santa Claus. It'll be the last day tomorrow. We'll talk to Drew Petzing tomorrow. We'll talk to Nick Rollis and Jeff Rogers, get more insights from Cardinals facility in there in Tempe. But thanks. Good to have the crew back together. Damon, Dawg back in studio. Can't wait to see what our the line results look like come Wednesday. Big week here on PHNX Cardinals, Johnny. Can't wait for all the coverage.
Absolutely. Again, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button. 500 likes is the goal. Helps support the show. Drop a comment in the post-game comments, post-show comments. How would you fix this offense? Or does it need to be fixed? And can the Arizona Cardinals win out? For Damon, Dawg, Bo Brack, I'm Johnny Venerable. Big thanks to everybody again who donated. We are back tomorrow on a Tuesday. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.